you're going to want to go to this place. It's the brilliant Mr. Richard Bertinet. There's nobody that makes bread as good as this fella over here. Welcome back.
Bonjour. Ça va?
Ça va? Ça va bien. Right, what are we cooking then, chef?
Baking.
Bread.
We're baking. You
We're
bake bread.
baking.
Don't
Well,
cook bread.
All right, okay. Slap me down straight away. What are we
Before
cooking?
we make bread, we're going to make some dough. Okay?
Yep.
So
we're going to do some dough, and we're going to...
Well, I'm making the dough and get my hand dirty with this. You're going to make me some nice tapenade, proper tapenade, and we got some olive, some tuna to go with, some anchovies, capers.
Now, you put tuna in the tapenade?
Yeah, it's a very old recipe I found from Provence. It's beautiful, really meaty and beautiful with hot bread.
Sounds good. A little bit of pesto as well.
Some
and
pesto, chickpea puree, which is fragrant with fresh lemon juice and garlic.
Okay.
Okay, so crack on with this.
Right, so explain what the purpose of making really good bread and the difficulty of it, because I think most people have got these bread makers, they throw it all in. It's not the same as this.
It's all in the dough. Get your dough right and your bread will follow. It's all start with the dough. So the technique I use is based in the old way of making dough by hand in the old days. So it was done by hand. I'll explain to you the word as I go along. Yeah. But it's simply 4 ingredients, and the magic of it just the dough come alive, as you see there. But
you always really, if you're learning to bread, always make it by machine, by hand. Sorry.
Well, I think if you learn to do things by hand, then you got the feel for it. You got the magic of the dough. When you understand the magic, then you can use any machine you want. So,
so you said 4 ingredients. We've got the flour there. Any special flour?
I got some salt, fine sea salt, and the flour, strong bread flour. There's some good British one out there. So for the real bread in here, it's fantastic. And so. And the water, I got 5 longer flour. My water goes straight into it.
Now you've got salt in there. That's sea salt in there.
Sea salt, of course. Always sea salt, always. Yeah. And then we're going to mix all this together. And this, in the old days, we call this the phrasage. It's mixing your ingredients together to end up with the phrasage.
So, Richard, excuse my ignorance, but why do you put the yeast in with the flour? Why don't you put the yeast in with the water?
That's when you were at college, Tristan.
I was at college.
Chef's trick, eh?
Not that long ago, man.
If you go to any bakery, you put your yeast goes straight into your flour. You don't need to...
So it doesn't die off or anything like that?
No, absolutely not. It's faffing. Have you heard of faffing before?
Faffing?
Yeah. It's doing things for nothing. You know,
you should wait until you see my recipe.
It's faffing. Yeah, you're going to see a lot of faffing in about 20 minutes' time.
There's a whole lot of faff on that one.
So I'm mixing all this together. Yeah. And that's the first part. And after that, the next part of mixing the dough by hand was called the découpage, when you slap the dough on the side of the table or on your big wooden trough, like they used to in the old days.
Now, where did you get your love of baking from? Where did that? Because I always ask, was it from your parents or where was it from?
I think when you grow up in France or any country, in UK as well, you know, when you go and buy your bread every morning, the smell of the bakery, something goes in your blood. So I remember when I was a little kid, I used to go around buy the bread and look at the door, slightly open, see all the floury bakery. I'm always covered in flour. And then one day I found myself behind the door, baking. I was like, what have I done? It's too late. When you're in, there's no escape. So
the texture of it should be that?
It's very sticky. The stickier, the better.
Yeah.
I like it sticky.
Okay. Well, that's my little bit of pesto. You don't want it too thin, this pesto, do you, really? You want it quite...
Oh, I mean, you can choose the way you want it, really.
Yeah.
That's perfect then, yeah. Okay, so you got that dough in here. It's like a sticky mess. Do not add flour or do not add oil on the table, okay? Just as it is there. There you go. And then, so we've done the phrasage. Now we're going to do the découpage and passage en tête.
Découpage.
You lost me.
And then the étirage.
Je le taxi, là.
Mais oui.
Découpage.
And then you trap some air inside it, you see?
Right. So no flour?
No. If you add flour, you change the recipe. So,
so I see the secret of it is keep the bread moist. That's
keep the dough moist, and then you'll be fine. Right. So usually with this technique, you can mix 10 kilo by hand, no problem at all. And it's good for you. And you dance with the dough. And the same with the dough, you got to show the dough's boss. Right. You're the boss.
Show the dough's boss.
Exactly.
Right.
Or the dough stick everywhere. The only problem with this technique is the noise.
Yeah, I was going to say.
You must have very understanding neighbours.
Well, if they knock on your door and say, what are you doing?
Moving on.
For the past half an hour.
It's all in your mind.
Anyway, I'm with the tapenade. We've got tuna in here, olives. I've got some anchovy in there. You want a little bit of olive oil, of course.
Yeah.
Touch of olive oil. And then I'm going to add the capers once it's blended. So that's that one.
Yeah.
Now, can all French bread be made the same way?
Any dough can be mixed that way, yes.
Right.
The thing, because you got a lot more water than the traditional method, you got much lighter crust and texture inside, so you don't get bloated all the time.
Right. Now, this is the fresh yeast, which you can get if you ask, well, bakeries and supermarkets may tell
Any
you
good
that.
baker should give you some fresh yeast.
Yeah.
In France, you can buy your dough from the baker, your yeast from the baker.
But what about sort of the dried yeast? You stay clear of it or use less of it?
In UK, we're obsessed with quick and freezing. We always, all the classes we're doing, people ask me, can I freeze it? Yeah. How quick is it? And the quick yeast is a bit too quick. You know, you don't use half of it over the cylinder pack. It's a bit too fast and makes
so whatever recipe says half it when you
halve it, yeah.
The dried stuff, all right.
Right, and you do this like that for 5 or 6 minutes. It's very hard for men to talk at the same time.
Do you know what I love about French bakeries and stuff like that? Actually, when you go to a French bakery, you can order your bread. You say your patro cuit or tro cuit.
Absolutely.
How if you like your baguette well done.
You buy your proper bread. You see
well.
the crust. You buy by the crust. You buy by the look of it. You don't buy
exactly,
in the packet.
Yeah.
You know? So
we don't have that over here, do we? It's a shame.
We do. There's a lot of good baker around. There's so many. It's a big revival on bread. There's you know.
No, because this dough will make all kinds of bread. So if you
That's so
wanted
basic. Pizza. You can make baguette with this. You can make all sorts of things.
Pizza, Fiona. There we are.
Hey.
There you go. Right, and finally we've got this chickpea one, which is just the chickpeas, the garlic.
So that's done now.
More olive oil.
Bit of flour there, and just give it a bit.
Some lemon.
Bit of turn in there.
That's that one done. Tapenades finished.
Here we go.
So that's it. That's the.
Yeah, I mean you can do it a bit longer, but I'm
going
to take over the other one. Baby's bottom, you see, nice and soft, beautiful. This goes in there, and then. So for the fougasse.
So how long would you leave that for with the cloth over it?
At least a good hour. Okay, that's just been an hour and a half there. So.
And where would you put that? Somewhere warm? Doesn't matter, does it really?
Warm but not hot. Okay, not dry. So. And then I got some maize flour, beautiful maize flour, very fine polenta. You do little corn chips with it, or it's beautiful stuff. And what I'm going to do is just turn the dough over.
Yeah.
With my little scraper there.
I'll move this to one side.
Yeah.
There you go. Because this is the special bit.
That's a nice bit. Here we go.
So the texture's very, very soft.
It is soft, yeah. And that's what scares people away, I think, with making soft dough.
Yeah.
It's lovely. So don't go there and start faffing around with it and just make it all flat.
Right.
Keep it that. So I'm going to make a big triangle there. Look at this one. Beautiful there.
Yeah.
And then we're going to cut a little bit on the middle. And this comes from the fougasse. You find the roots of that bread. It used to be called a soufflame as well. In the old days, when you had a big wood-fired oven, there was no little problem on the side with a little timer.
It's a testing bread.
It's a testing bread.
Right.
It comes from the same root word as a focus and focaccia, the Italian bread.
Yeah.
Bread baked on the half of the oven, you see, just when the flame were
so they basically pop this in the oven before they break the most amount of bread to test what temperature it is.
I think it's probably a little snack for the baker, you know, a bit starving, get a bit of dough, throw it in there. So, and sure enough, a little bit there, a bit of flame on the side.
Now this maize flour will give it the crust.
It gives you a nice crust and a nice finish.
Yeah.
So you can pretend you do this in your oven in the garden, you see, wood-fired oven. And this, we slide it in the oven, just that. Okay?
So,
right.
Yeah.
I'm going to do...
Now you've got it in a pizza stone in the oven, but an oven that's very, very hot. This is 500 degrees Fahrenheit.
So...
While he's sorting out the bread, remember if you'd like to send some questions to the show, then call this number. That's 08716 41 41 41. Calls cost 10p a minute from BT Online. Mobiles and other networks may vary, and if you put your questions to us live a little later on. And don't forget, it finds Richard's recipe along with all the other studio recipes from today's show on our website. Go to bbc.co.uk/Saturday Kitchen. And there is the fougasse.
Listen to this. That crunch, right?
Wow.
La crunch.
Le crunch.
Le crunch.
And this is your aperitif.
Merci.
Oh, the smell is amazing.
So remind us what that is again?
Heaven.
La fougasse.
Oh.
La fougasse.
That's what it is, with a load of dips that I've made.